Welcome to Liquidware Chats. We are celebrating our 20th episode, so I've invited on David Bieneman, who is the CEO and founder of Liquidware. We have a discussion about how 2024 has been for Liquidware from both a business and a technical perspective. We also get a glimpse of what's coming in 2025 and beyond. I want to say thanks to everyone for watching or listening to Liquidware Chats in 2024. We've got lots of really great stuff lined up for 2025. So I wish everyone a happy holidays and all the best for the new year. David, how are you?
I'm good, James. Thanks so much. I'm glad to be here too. Excited.
Excellent. So we're nearly at the end of 2024. But it is also 2024 marks Liquidware's 15th year in business.
Yes,
which
absolutely.
is a big deal.
That is a big deal. It's a super big deal. We just talked about that last night. We had a little company get together here, and to see all these faces for all these years it's really fulfilling to me. Leading this company for the last 15 years has been really rewarding for me, and a lot of these people that I've known for even more than 15 years, right? We've worked together at a prior organization that we started in 2004 or so, 2002, I think, actually. So we've been together for quite some time, me and a lot of this crew here. But there's been new folks over the last 15 years as well, and I've seen a lot of us grow together as far as our company goes and getting more business acumen, but I've also seen a lot of individual growth here and a lot of family growth. A lot of people have had children over these last 15 years here, so it's pretty cool. It's been pretty exciting, and like I said, it's been one of the more rewarding experiences of my life here. And this year's been nothing to sneeze at. We had a 30% year-over-year growth compared to last year, so we really had, as far as company goes and revenue goes, a great year here.
Yeah, no, definitely 2024 has been a great year for us. And we've seen lots of growth, particularly, around the products as well. And, one of the things is, there's been a lot of innovations within the product suite in 2024. Obviously, Flex app has been just blowing up everywhere, as we've seen from a lot of the things. And we're going to get into a bit more detail about some of the major integrations that we introduced in 2024, but maybe you could talk about our integrations and our innovations in 2024.
Flex app continues to lead and dominate over here. It's leading and dominating in the app deployment area and in the lifecycle management area of applications. And with that product, we've expanded the ecosystem support. It was our goal to do that so that other customers and partners could trust us and have also additional ISV and resources to go as they were modernizing and to help them go along their journey and modernize to the Flex app platform. And so we were able to achieve that this year. We expanded the ecosystem with key partnerships and integrations this year in 24.
And do you want to expand on some of those kind of integrations and partnerships we've seen? Because there's two really big ones if we're talking about it, and that's obviously Citrix and Microsoft, which is
Don't steal my thunder. Don't steal my thunder.
You can go into the detail. I'm just setting you up there. That
absolutely. Those are two.
It's not like we haven't been putting that message out there, and I think most people are aware. I know from when the announcement around Microsoft came out on the 1st of November, I was at a E2E VC in Barcelona, and I was having lots of people were coming up to me during that event and saying, "Wow, this is huge news for Liquidware," and I think it is a game changer for us. And the Citrix one just as well, because these are the two biggest players in that kind of DaaS VDI arena, and for them to integrate us into their products is just a huge endorsement of what we've been doing at Liquidware.
Absolutely. And so, we were moving enterprise with Flex app for a while now. This helps, solidify that, prove that, not only those large enterprise deals this year, those multiple 7-figure deals, but also when you have Citrix, a major enterprise player adopting your technology and not just doing partnership marketing. Like, this company is a company that we know works technically on here. Look at all the specs. It's going to be fine. We're going to market each other. That's not the kind of relationship. And the same thing with Microsoft. When they came to us and started working with us on this integration, it wasn't, hey, we've known about you for a while and let's talk nice with each other and to the community. No, it was like, let's get our development teams to sit down and here's a set of APIs that we need to agree on. And now who's going to put what in and, make your mock-up services while we make our services and let's go ahead and do some co-development together and really do product integration so that the customer has the maximum value. So the customer has the point and click. The customer can flip a switch, push a button and get something done without having to go through setting something up like a science project and, using a run book for that. So yeah, so it's been real integration this year with Microsoft and real integration with Citrix. So we are part of Citrix DAS, Citrix CVAD, accessible through Web Studio, the awesome Web Studio. And then we're also available in AVD App Attach, and that's controlled through the Azure Resource Manager control plane and whatnot.
Just with those two announcements, like the amount of work that's gone on in the background from initiating the right conversations with the right people, like it's I think if I'm right, it's been close to 18 months, maybe 2 years that we have been engaged with those two companies to get to where we are now today. So that's been a huge amount of work from everyone on both sides.
It has been. There was quite a few meetings. There was we do these meetings a lot of times at these events out here. You might be at an event in Florida or an event in San Diego or whatever the case may be. And so we've done quite a few of those meetings over the last couple of years. And then just the individual product management meetings that my guys have all been on with Microsoft team. There's been so many of those. And I get updates from those regularly. I mean, I think they had a weekly standing call for quite some time. And just communicating with each other and making sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. And I think we were done a little bit faster and than everybody else. We were very agile. We were able to respond very quickly to Microsoft. My team was very excited to work with Microsoft, which is another reason why. And so we kind of pioneered and pushed forward. And I think we helped Microsoft push forward on this testing even faster than they planned, because again, we were ready. We created all the mock services and they did the same, and we all worked together, and then we were able to put the codes together and they worked. And then the teams did whatever they had to do to go the rest of the way. But yeah, definitely it's been an exciting opportunity, and it gets a lot more eyeballs on us is what it does. And that's really what we need. FlexApp doesn't need a brand new feature for this and a certain, add this in so we've got a checkbox for that. What FlexApp needs is eyeballs. It needs people to know what it can do, how it can make applications portable and modernize them and help you lift and shift to another environment and, give you that modernization really that you're looking for instead of the old legacy way of decision tree installations on each device out there and have everybody have their own personality, which is you don't really want a personality to develop when you have software deployment. You want that software to be deployed like the picture that you took when you made up your package, right? This is what I want, and this is how it should look when it gets out to the field, right? And that's what we do with you for you with FlexApp.
Exactly, and we were both at Ignite, and which obviously is Microsoft's biggest conference. There was over 10,000 people there. Yeah. We were both on the booth, and it was like the buzz around that event and the interactions we were having with people were amazing as well. Like, people had definitely heard about the announcements, and we were seeing that in as you said, we were getting eyeballs on us at that event, and it really paid off for us as an event. And some of the conversations, I think, are really going to move us forward in 2025.
But there was a whole list of things we wanted to do. We really accomplished them, including the 1,000 leads. Now we'll give them to the sales team to qualify them and everything like that. But since we're at a Microsoft event, these are the types of people that, we want to be talking to. We love Windows. We do, of course, we run on Macs and we run on Linux for most of our other products and whatnot. But FlexApp is a Windows application portability solution and application modernization solution. So that's where, that's where we do best, right? In Microsoft event like that. And so Ignite was a great event for us, and we're looking forward to continuing that exposure through this program, App Attach program.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree.
We also have come out with integrations with other ISVs. We worked with Remo3, Application Readiness, Access IT Automation this year. Those are 3 ISVs that produce application packaging and testing, and can help you determine other virtualization portability platforms that might be more appropriate for the workload that you have. And so FlexApp has been, like I said, been quite sought after this year. And so we've had those 3 ISVs collaborate with us on top of Citrix and Microsoft to add support. And again, that just gives the customers and other partners ecosystem support so that they don't have to do it all on their own. They can use these modernization tools from these other ISVs, and then help along their efforts of modernizing from legacy installs to App Attach and the FlexApp. So that's a pretty cool announcement as well, and it's really fulfilling to see people calling us and us collaborating with others, and adding, creating an ecosystem around FlexApp.
And in terms of FlexApp, is there any kind of features that have been released this year that you kind of think are kind of a differentiator from what else is on the market?
Well, in 2025, we do have some plans, yes, of some things that are differentiating the product, I believe, from what's out there. And so I'm toying with what I want to say right now, but I would say that we are taking security very seriously. The applications that are packaged with FlexApp are inherently secure already. They do have an expiration date. They do have the ability to put a certificate on them if you'd like. And they do have the ability to actually give them like a second level of authorization, where you can tie an application to an Entra ID group and an app ID back on Entra ID, Microsoft Azure Entra ID. And when the user goes to open the application and the application is going to be activated and layered on the system, it will check with Azure AD and ask the user to authenticate if the user is not authenticated. And then when the user authenticates with Azure AD, it will then do a lookup for the groups that the user is a member of in that application ID to see if that user is a member of that app ID. And if they are, so if they were authenticated and they're a member of that group that has access to that app ID, then the application that they've executed activates and it's available on the system. And so that's a real nice security feature to help prevent, if you wanted then the application that, let's say you deployed out through Intune or to a laptop, if you wanted to make sure that application couldn't get launched in the future, let's say the IT person or the user was savvy and they figured out how to get that application off and take a copy of it before you wipe that Intune on that laptop, that application, when they go to mount it on another device, or when they go to launch that application on any Windows device, will contact Azure AD, Entra ID, and then again ask for the authentication, look for the group membership, and then allow the app to be layered. So that's a pretty cool feature, but that's existing in the product today. So those are some of the securities in the product today. But above and beyond that, we will be introducing an isolation mode for the software. So I'll go ahead and just put that on the table right now. And there'll be some controls around that, which really will allow you to, let's say, secure any app and manage that security of any app on an individual app by app basis. I won't go any further right now.
Interesting.
Too much
okay.
Away.
Yeah. No, I can see where you're going with that.
And we've been asked about this. I mean, we have isolation in the form of session isolation and in the form of micro isolation. Those are 2 isolation technologies that the product uses to ensure compatibility and to have it work robustly throughout any type of Windows implementation that you deploy it on. But at the end of the day, it doesn't provide a full, complete isolation between processes within a session. And that's part of its claim to fame of success, right? Because it's any apps, with COM and DCOM and all these different types of services and drivers, even plug and play stuff, work still with us because we're not fully isolating everything between those inter-process communications. But we have been asked about isolation above and beyond session isolation and micro isolation. And we're even going beyond what we've been asked, because we've seen where other technologies have gone in the market, not application portability and virtualization technologies, but other security technologies. So we are integrating some of those into this next security update.
Keeping my lips sealed because it's all very ultra secret at the moment, but it is something to be excited about, and people should definitely pay attention to it in 2025. So shifting gears a little bit to look at some of the other solutions we provide is we have our newest solution, Command Control, which is a SaaS-based solution. So that's different to most of our other solutions. Most of the others support on-prem, cloud, but this is a from the ground up SaaS solution. So it kind of, how do you feel Command Control kind of differentiates from Stratosphere? Because I think from what I understand in all my discussions is there was an ask from from our customers that there was a certain area where we needed to bridge the gap, and we've brought Command Control in to kind of do that, but we have integrated the solutions as well.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Command Control does answer a lot of long-standing customer requests, yes, from Stratosphere customers about real-time monitoring and real-time remediation, absolutely. Also on the UI, a lot of people over the last 15 years of Stratosphere were looking for, and we've done a lot of different updates and even UI updates, but they're looking for real strong UI updates and a revamp. And so Command Control really answers a lot of those questions for us and allows us to try the most newest, most modern technologies because it's brand new. So it really has become it's really become a roadmap for where we're going with the UI architecture. And so you can kind of see that if you look at Stratosphere today, there's a new preview UI in Stratosphere that just looks amazing. And it's based off of the work that we've done on Command Control. It's very similar in how it works. We actually have people that evaluate both products and say, well, this is great. Now I really understand how I like where this is going. It makes it so much easier for me to understand how this works. And we've had that feedback from folks already. And we've actually made two-way integrations with Command Control and Stratosphere right now. So you can be in Command Control, or actually right now you can be in Stratosphere. You can be looking at something, let's say historically or today, an hour ago, and you could say, well, how is that user right now? Or how is that machine right now? And you could click a button and it will take you into Command Control and pass you all the way through right to that user entity, right to that machine entity. And then you can be looking at that with the DVR and with the new UI and in real time right away, and take action too. You could right click and terminate a process or reset a service or log somebody off or switch to their endpoint from the host that they're on and access the secure shell or do some screen sharing. And there's just amazing things that you can do right off the bat in real time that you could never do with Stratosphere by itself.
Yeah, if we're talking innovation, like DVR is definitely, I think, something where we differentiate from other people because it's a feature. Just to explain it, essentially, as we've said, Command Control, real time data, but also built into the solution is the gathering of data for up to 7 days, and you have this feature you can turn on. Essentially, you just go pick that point in time and displays all the metrics. Now, point of fact here is we do not do screenshots. This is just metrics only. So there's no security concerns, but just for that kind of point in time, I had an incident at 2 p.m. 2 days ago. You can go and pinpoint that. And I think that's, everyone I've talked to about this says that is an amazing feature.
Yeah, it's amazing also because everybody knows how to do that. They know how to use YouTube.
Exactly.
They know how to grab the bar and scrub left and scrub right, and they're familiar with that. It's an action that we all take in, right, for a while.
Well, yeah. If we can, it could be in Netflix or YouTube, anything. It's this. It's the same action across all those kind of applications. So yes, it is that kind of very simplified thing that's so easy. There's no instruction or training, and that's
yes. And when you scrub through that line, when you're scrubbing through it and you're looking at it, there's vertical lines now on your horizontal scrub bar, right? There's vertical lines that appear, and those vertical lines are colored. There might be a color for a network or color for CPU or color for a memory alert. So you get to see in your scrub line there, where do you need to focus at, right? You can move and scrub right over to that location and then view those metrics and view the environment, what the environment looked like during that alert moment, right? So it helps you kind of focus in on where do you need to scrub to even. So
Exactly. And as I said, we have made it so simple that and with the color coding, you know the type of incident that has occurred at that point in time as well. So you know straight away to kind of pinpoint. So the whole point of the solution is essentially to reduce the kind of time to resolution for tickets and make things simpler for the help desk, that they're not kind of trying to shine a torch in the dark. They have that you can pinpoint exactly where it is and solve it very quickly. And
Right. It really gives a white glove. It gives a first class. It gives a high touch or a great experience to both the administrator and the end user, right? Because you're able to now help that end user and you help them through the problem or the process where it's seamless to them, where they don't have to spend a lot of time doing something on their own, where you can guide them through it, right? And you have your controls. We implement a great RBAC system in the product and a great auditing system in the product. So if you have a desktop support team and you want to give them some keys to be able to terminate a process or to restart a service or to log off a user, you can give them those keys. If they shouldn't have those keys and they can only have keys to see the main DVR system and go ahead and log a ticket in on your side and just pick the metrics and kind of manually go ahead and log them into their system, they can just do that at a real high level. They don't have the ability maybe to get in and to do a drop to the secure shell. And that's understandable because maybe you don't want everybody to do that, right? So command control lets you really provide that high quality service to your end user, make that easy for both the end user and the administrator with that whole RBAC system behind it and auditing. And it's really quite intuitive and powerful, I would say, for any level person. So with one click, there many different levels of people can deliver a high quality technical experience.
Exactly. And the thing I kind of get with it is that it's very much you do everything via the console. You're not initiating a remote session and interrupting the user. You can just work away in the background and the user is like completely unaware of what you're doing. One thing we would say is everything, there's an audit log for everything. So there's no because obviously what we've just said is the user has no awareness of what you're doing, but there is an audit log of absolutely everything. So from a security and audit perspective, it's all there.
There's an audit log of everything, and there's the RBAC, so they can only do, they can't just shadow your screen and take control of your screen or start looking at what you're doing on the physical screen. That's just not how that works. There's a set of controls to go through if they're even allowed to do that. But above and beyond that, it does allow you, and there's cameras everywhere you walk in life right now, and everywhere you go in life, you're always on camera. You're always being audited and whatnot. And so the product provides that, complete 24/7, every 3 seconds view of what you have going on. But again, the way you consume that is tightly controlled with the RBAC and the auditing, and it's actually easy to do with the one click and the excellent GUIs that we put in the product. So it's pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited about the product command control. And not only has it helped us set up the infrastructure, the architecture for the new UIs, but it also has helped us really manage, set up and manage the right environment to manage a SaaS environment, a cloud environment. So as we move forward with the other products and we SaaSify the next product at Liquidware, we already have the understanding of how all that gets built and expanded to other regions and how it gets backed up and how it gets torn down and how it can get rebuilt, all with the click of a button or automatically. So we got a lot out of the command control work these last couple of years, not only in creating a brand new product for real-time monitoring and remediation and filling in where Stratosphere was, but also to help us modernize all of our solutions as far as the UI goes and also how it's built in the back end and operated.
So if we look at Stratosphere, 2024 was quite a big year for it. There was quite a few developments around features and that. Obviously, Dex digital employee experience is getting bigger and bigger, and we made some additions to the product to kind of help with that. And one of the biggest one we did was around the user sentiment surveys. So I know we've always had kind of a scoring system within, but we've gone that additional step now to get kind of that end user sentiment.
Exactly, and that's it's helped us land kind of square in the middle of the Magic Quadrant on the Gartner Magic Quadrant. And so it gives us that visibility, right? That we are Dex product as well. But it also helps, kind of accentuate what really we do best. So, for years, as you said, we had a UX score, we've had a fit score, we've had a workload score, we have a network risk score, we have other types of security scores in the product to help kind of simplify the matrix when you look at all these numbers on the screen. And some of us like to look at the matrix like that with a little color coding. It makes it a little bit easier, but even that can be complex to look at when you're looking at thousands of lines or tens of thousands of users and stuff like that. And so when we created these scoring systems, it really helps simplify, give folks on many different levels and of understanding the ability to look and say, is this user, or machine or application good, fair, or poor state right now, in a good, fair, or poor state right now. And then based on that good, fair, or poor, you'd be able to look and see, well, what supporting metrics are supporting that good, fair, or poor state, and then kind of drill down from there. But what we didn't have the ability to do was to confirm with everybody, is this really how you're feeling out there? Or get the feedback from the user without going user to user, without putting out mass emails and collecting them, or putting out some kind of a spreadsheet that everybody could, or a survey kind of online cloud link where they can go fill in how things are working for them in a certain migration or in a project. And we didn't have that kind of ability. And so when we added that in this last year, I think it did a lot for us. Not only did it put us squarely in that Dex Magic Quadrant, kind of, right there, as you see in the middle, but it also allows our customers to do things that they weren't able to do before. It really saves them from having to go do all that manual work to collect that information and roll it up. So now in our product, you can simply put in 3 or 4 questions in the UI, and Stratosphere will roll those questions out to the right user bases that you've selected, and ask those questions at the right timings that you've, of course, selected, and the right conditions that you allow that to come up and be asked. And so those questions are asked and all rolled up back to the main database server, and then an administrator can simply run a report and kind of see all this feedback without having to go through all that manual work of getting the mails out, collecting that, correlating it, and then trying to sort it and act on it afterwards, which is almost too much to ask. And so by having a system automatically going out there and collecting that information back, kind of a scatter gather approach, and then you're able to digest it, it's a big, huge improvement in administrator productivity and being able to actually execute a project like that. And so again, put a square in the middle of the Dex category and platform. But what it did for the customers and gives us that visibility, but what it did for the customers is it really allows them to do something that they weren't able to accomplish before in a mass way. So it's pretty amazing.
It is, and I spoke to some of our partners about this, and they came up with a use case where you're like rolling out a new environment and you want feedback on that, or they were doing performance testing, and they were able, they could then gather that feedback and not have to, as you said, send out mass emails. They can tailor certain questions, the frequency of when it gets sent out, and get all that feedback from the test users way more quicker, and be able to collate it so much quicker than just using spreadsheets. So I think there's a use case there for our partners as well when they're implementing Stratosphere as well. So
it's a big deal, and we're not stopping there on just collecting information in a mass way and making it easier for you to do that. There is a lot of other there are some other areas that we're tying this user sentiment feedback into within the product. And so it'll probably be a late 2025 beta for some of that, and making some of that visible to the public. But there's a lot more to come with the user sentiment feedback inside Stratosphere UX.
We've talked pretty much about all the products. I suppose the big question that a lot of people will ask: what is Liquidware doing with AI?
Absolutely.
Command Control already is integrated with ChatGPT for that kind of process identification. So, that was a particular use case we thought was worth doing. And I think that's the thing I feel with AI and companies is it has to be worthwhile. There has to be some benefit to customers and end users. It's not just integrating AI for AI's sake.
Right. Exactly. Absolutely. Right. So we're on the same path there. We won't just put in AI for AI's sake, right? And we definitely want to make our AI consumable by the masses. And there's a lot of challenges with that there. So we've taken some notes from the field and we've rolled that into the plan that we've created. So we do have an AI plan, and we are executing on that AI plan. And we've been executing on that AI plan for really about a little bit more than a year, I would say, right now. And so we have created prototype, and we have used prototype, and that prototype has been integrated into a Stratosphere appliance directly, but it's also been that's for testing. It won't be released that way. I'm not going to go into that though much for here. I'm going to skirt a lot of this that I'm going to talk about, but we have done prototypes and we have integrated into the Stratosphere code and tested those things. We have 3 initial areas where AI is going to be affecting the product inside of Stratosphere straight away. Again, it's going to be working for the masses. So those who don't want any AI in Stratosphere will not have to have any AI in Stratosphere at all. There will be no code default integrated and shipped with the product on purpose. Again, I'm not going to get go further into that. I really can't.
But that makes sense.
I want to, but I can't.
Absolutely, I understand that, and to me that makes sense, because there are some customers, and we if we're talking just generally, I think there is a level of AI fatigue at the moment, and people are just like, AI is integrated in everything. My washing machine is AI, and that kind of thing, and. But what we're doing is we're being very specific about what we're doing. And as you said, we have some of our customers who have no interest in that, and that's fine. We will. This will not be, as you said, built into the code base. It will be completely optional.
Yep, 100% optional. Again, 3 areas have been targeted and prototyped with great success. I've spent a lot of time on it myself. And we have other folks, obviously, putting bigger brain power than mine on it. And we have, I've had great results from all 3 areas so far that amaze me. That I look at it as creating it and saying to myself, is this really valuable? Let me make sure this is really valuable. And you kind of go through those, yes, this is really valuable. And then you go away and you come back, you look at it again, or actually you're working at it for a while. And then you're like, wait a second, is this really valuable? Wait, maybe it's not. And am I just going down this, this for no reason? And you step away and you get fresh again, and you come back at it, and then you use it and you're like, yeah, this actually is great. And this really does do a job. And it really does make me more efficient, or whatever the case may be. So where we're at right now is, we have a great prototype going. We're a little bit further ahead than the rest of the team probably can consume right this second, closing off the rest of the year. We look forward to getting back in on it early in 2025 and showing some stuff to our partners and trusted folks. Advisors, absolutely, over 2025 and nearing the middle of 2025.
Excellent.
Yeah,
that's really
proud of it. I'm excited about
it. I know we've had conversations, and I know how excited you are by this. And but as I said, I think the thing I always like about our approach is that it's very value orientated. We're looking at what value we can bring to our customer base, not just, okay, everyone's done AI, we're now going to jump on the bandwagon. That's not how we approach these things, and I think that's the correct way to approach things when it comes to AI integration, in my opinion.
Thank you so much. And if folks want to get a little bit of AI in the current command control while it's in there, if they want to enter in their OpenAI key into command control, they can enter in their OpenAI key. That's how command control works with AI today. You go into command control and you enter your OpenAI key in there. And once that's in there, command control can communicate with OpenAI and ask some questions on processes, process identification, and help you kind of understand what you're looking at, and where it comes from. And so that's our current AI integration into command control. It's a dynamic way for you as the end user to identify processes with the help from AI. So
Excellent. Yeah. No, it is. And I've obviously worked with it quite a bit, and it is very good. It gives you the thing I really like is it's so simple. You just click the icon and it brings up the information, the executable name, the details of what it is, and you've never left the console. You haven't gone off to some random web page which might have malware built into it and all of that. It's all within our console, and it's just so simple, but a really effective way of utilizing AI.
because before that, what would we do, right? We'd all take the screen, we'd go grab and we'd highlight it, we'd copy it, we'd open a new web browser, we'd open our favorite search engine, we'd paste in there the process name, we'd start looking through what's on the screen and try to understand which article do we have to click, or which link do we have to click. And you go down a rat hole, especially if you had a administrator that maybe wasn't as savvy with something and they're not sure really what they're looking at now. And like you said, they're clicking on some kind of everybody's looking up this process name, so let's move them to some malware page. And now you're all of a sudden part of the problem.
Now you're in trouble. Just when you've been trying to solve someone else's problem and you've created a different problem. So yeah,
you looked up the virus and you added it to your own machine.
Yeah, exactly. Onto that machine, your machine, and probably the machine you're connected to as well. So yeah. We've eliminated all of that. So I think it's a really good use case for it, in terms of like, potentially if you have been affected by malware, you can see which processes is consuming all the CPU or the memory, and you can decide then at that moment if you just want to kill that process off. So I think it gives you that kind of real deep insights very quickly.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, David, it has been an absolute pleasure as always. I think we've given people a hint of what we're going to do in 2025. And I think personally, there's a lot of stuff there to be very excited about what's going to come in the future from Liquidware. Yeah, I think 2024 has been an exceptional year.
I could go, the last 15 years have been exceptional, at Liquidware, and we've had a real strong 15 years, right? From, coming out with, Stratosphere UX, and adding in Profile Unity, and adding in Flex App, and adding in command control. And then we have different flavors of some of these things with the Flex App one, or with the Stratosphere Fit versus UX, and, the optimizer technology that's in there. It's almost like a product in itself. And so, yeah, the company I'm overjoyed with the company. It's been one of the greatest things that I've done in my life, is manage and lead and work with Liquidware, these products and this team. So it's super exciting. I'm pumped. I could go on for an hour or two, and we could talk. I mean, and we've barely scratched the surface. I mean, again, we have 4 products. I mean, we could go deep on all kinds of things here, and I'd be happy to do it again. So
excellent. We'll definitely do that in the future. But it just remains to say thanks to everyone for watching, listening in 2024. We've really enjoyed all the conversations we've had across the year, including with David to, I think, finish off last year, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
So this has become a kind of a fixture that, we tradition that we end the year with a podcast with David. So yeah, hope everyone has wish everyone all the best for the holidays, and we will see you in 2025. Thank you very much.